antifreeze coolant replacement. How much coolant? This radiator takes about 1 and 2 gallons. So what you need is at least a bottle of distilled water and 1 antifreeze. I just get a little bit more just in case I need more. Have a marker and mark how much it is because you need a 50%. Okay, so where is the antifreeze? Antifreeze will be filled here. So this is the fill and this is a reservoir. Both of them need to be clean. And the drain is on very end of here. You see there's I'm going to put a wrench there and you can see better. Now I put a wrench here. You can see the wrench. See, here is the wrench under it. You just need to turn this. See, it's very easy to move. And I'm going to put the oil pan in. See, this is the drain plug. Here you can see the coolant is dripping. I'm going to loosen the top cap. There's some more coolant will come down. So you kind of use this cap to control the flow, because once you open the cap, there will be more coolant come out. You know, my oil pan is not too big, so that's why, see, when it's too big, it will gush out. So I will just control it like this. So I control this flow. Oh, it's too much. So it's kind of a control. It's not easy to control, but I try to minimize. So I try to get it steady into the pan. See, here it's now steady. Now I put this completely off. So wait a little bit until it drains. So the next step is plug the drain up and fill with a normal water and rinse it, and then flush again. And then of course you just need to fill the coolant. So I thought that I kind of need to use the cap on the top to control the flow. Okay, so this is the drain plug. I'm going to put it in. This is pretty easy. You don't need to jack the car. So you need to just plug the drain, okay? And then after you plug the drain plug, let's fill with the tap water and rinse one more time. So we start the engine, just rinse this radiator, and we should turn the heat on. I'm going to let the tap water out after rinse. So you see there's not much water come out because I don't want to spill everywhere. I want to have a control. So this is the one on the top. This is the top to control it. So when I let the air in, you see more water come out. See? That's how we control it. See? So I will just like this speed until it's driven more. Then now I give it more. See, there's too much air in, so that's how I control the flow. It doesn't flash everywhere. So another thing is this reservoir has some remaining coolant. One way is you siphon, use gravity, have this both filled with water, and close this and tap this in. Siphoning. How do you do siphoning? A lot of time it's easy, but this particular case I'm trying to siphon coolant from the overflow container toward here. So we have some limitation. One is the tube has to be long enough. Here's about 12-inch uphill. So the flow has to go from here up to until here uphill, and then come down. So it will be twice as much. So your pipe at least has to be 25, maybe longer. I got a little bit longer one. Maybe you can have a shorter, but calculate your length and make sure that's enough. Sometimes siphoning fail because there's an air pocket in here. From here to go uphill, if this is all air pocket, and there's some air pocket in this section, then you may fail. Let me demonstrate. So the way to fill this pipe, you have to really maybe fill with one and make this come out. See, when it come out, you can raise a little bit high to the both level and make sure they don't have any air pocket here. Try to refill and squeeze the pipe to make sure there's no air pocket. And then once you finish, you need to really seal the both end. And I'm going to demonstrate with water so I don't contaminate environment with coolant.
So there's water in the pipe right now?
Yeah, the water in the milk bottle here and the water in the pipe now.
So there's water in both?
Yeah, both section, all the section. So you need to lower this one down and make sure as fast as possible, minimize the uphill. So it's here. See, siphoning works. So that works for the car.
So now you're draining the water from the milk bottle?
Yeah. So without removing the overflow container. Okay, so that's done. The second alternative is use a device to
so that's just a water bottle with a straw?
With a straw, and watch my other video, and there are other options how to do it. It depends on how much. We don't really have much left, so what I do is I make a little bit. This is a coat hanger, and on the end I have some foam, and I use the tape to do this, and I just dip this in here. You can see it will suck a little bit, and then I have a plastic bag here, and once it come in this plastic bag, I just so it's slow, but if you really have a lot, you should really siphon it. Now this is what came out after many years. A very strange Honda owner's manual says you need to check the coolant and add the coolant, but only mention 120,000 miles every time you change it. And this is what it look. I'm going to fill this with a 1 gallon milk jar, so I know how much I need to fill. So this is a way to measure how much to fill. So this is about a little bit more than a gallon, and you see the bottom is really not that dirty. So after so many years, it doesn't look that bad. I'm going to fill this, and this is a 1 gallon. I made a mark. So what I will do is pour this into there and mix with 1 gallon. 1 gallon is up to here. This is a 1 gallon. So I'll mix 1 gallon and then pour this antifreeze to the 1 gallon. That's what I will do. So after we use the tap water to rinse, actually that tap water process, you don't have to do that. Usually it's not that dirty. So I'm going to fill with water just this much. Need to fill not too fast because we don't want the air trapped inside. And while you have this, see the hose, you may squeeze this to let it burp. The key thing here is to let it drip a little bit, not all the water gush down. And then I pour some antifreeze into this jar either you can just mix them here or you can just pour directly. So I'm trying to make this reach to this mark. Okay, reach the mark. I'm gonna dump this here. You can also mix in this. You have to have two marks, one for the first half gallon and then next to the next half gallon. After you fill the coolant, you need to bleed the air out of the cooling system. A lot of people know there's a bleeder bolt there to bleed the air out, but I checked the Honda's service manual and the Honda Accord manual 2003 to 2011. It didn't mention that bleeder value. So the process is a little bit different than other model of a Honda. You don't have the bleeder bolt. So what you do is open the cap, let the engine run. That's the process.
You open what?
Open this pack cap. So this is the cap you open. See there's some coolant there. You let it run. And then you see air bubble there. I don't want to run the engine now because it will be too loud. You can't hear me. So that's the normal way to get the air out. After you flush your coolant, leave radiator cap open while letting the engine running for 10 minutes. And then you turn on the heater to let the coolant circulate to push the air out. It is important you have the air out so the coolant can be very efficiently, and more importantly, the sensors are working properly. The idle control unit may need a time to relearn the control of the idling. I drove off in a hurry. The car actually stopped at the traffic stop. It wasn't a big deal. I had to restart the engine, but it was scary. After a week, the previous problem came back. The idles fluctuate up and down again. So we don't know what's the problem. I tried to detect a leak again to see this is a carburetor cleaner. I sprayed around here and the revolution didn't change. So we don't really have a leak, and I also tried the problem. So what happened is still the coolant system has a problem. And all of a sudden I noticed, right now you don't see, but this pipe, the black one.
Which pipe?
This pipe. This black pipe and this pipe collapse. Right now it's not collapsed. When engine is running, it's warm. This is this shape. But when it's collapsed, meaning there's a vacuum inside the cooling system. That vacuum is caused by this cap. It was dirty. The way the system works is when engine is warm, this coolant has more, so the coolant flow from this into the overflow container. But when engine is cool, it will suck this coolant back into this. So because the cap was a bad one, the coolant cannot return back to the radiator after it's cooled. So that was the cause of the idle, because Honda is really sensitive to the coolant system. So what I did, you can either replace this cap, it's about $10, or what I did was just rinse it. The way you rinse it, remember, look at this, there's two seal. One is this main seal. That's a seal.
The black one?
Yeah, black one on the biggest one. It's the main seal, so the coolant doesn't come out of the radiator. But this seal is for the returning flow. See, I can, there's another spring here. So make sure you open this one and rinse it well. Mine was all gunked, so I had to really clean it. It's working now without a new one. If there's there's a problem, next thing I will replace this. That's a tip. how do you retrain the software to learn the idle speed? We had a problem with the idle speed, and I checked the coolant. After coolant is still not stable, it's up and down. So we have this hands repair manual. It's 2003 through 2011, and this has a learn procedure for PCM module. It says you must perform the PCI idle learn procedure after disconnecting or replacing the battery. So if you replace the battery, you need to do this process. If you replace your powertrain control module PCM, or after cleaning or replacing the intake manifold or the throttle body, you need to do the process. In our situation, we had to replace the coolant because of idle speed problem. I'm going to perform this. I don't want to run the engine, but just show you the process. So otherwise the engine will be too loud to hear me. So the first step, you have to turn off all the electronic device there, the radio, the heater. Of course, you put the heater in the max, but not turning it. The second step is turn on the ignition switch to on for 2 seconds. That will set your, say this is the start of the training, and then put the transmission in park or neutral. I have a manual transmission, so I'm putting on the neutral, and run the engine for 3000 RPM. How do you run 3000 RPM? I have a manual there. I either press the gas pedal, or here there's a place on here I can use a screwdriver to jam it. This, when you jam here, the RPM will go up. So that's what I did. I jammed this into 3000 RPM and leave it until the radiator fan come out. So there are 2 fans here, 2 radiator fan. This is the first fan. This is the first fan. Show. This is the first fan, and this is the second fan. Come here. This is the second fan. So the fan will come on. So that's the indication of a start training. If you have a temperature gauge, it says 194 degree Fahrenheit or 19 degree centigrade. Either you can either based on the temperature, or here's easy to see the fans on. So once the fans come on, you have to have a fan comes on, and like at least twice. So after the radiator fans comes on, allow the engine to idle at least 5 minutes with the throttle fully closed. So 5 minutes, the way to calculate the 5 minutes is, doesn't count the time the fan is on. Say if fan comes on 15 seconds each time, so you have to, if it comes on twice, you have to extend the 5 minutes into, say, 5 minutes and 30 seconds. So minimum, you have to wait that long in order to complete the training process.